you guys know the feeling, but, you know, when you're 30 years old and you're single and you're, like, trying to put yourself out there and your friends are all married and they're like, oh, let's go to the D-backs game, and you're, like, sick, and then you think, like, it's going to be a night out, and then they're, like, 7th inning in, and they're like, yeah, let's go get some ice cream after this, and I'm like, oh, fuck. We have really different vibes of, like, what the night is going to look like, so then you're, like, scouring for friends that are potentially out in the same area that you are so that you're at least trying to meet new people, because God knows that when you're with your married friends, you don't really meet a lot of new people, and I love them. Like, I don't blame them. Like, I want to go home and eat fucking ice cream too, but I texted a friend and I was like, you're out, right? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, can I meet you? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, I'll be waiting. Like, I'm a pathetic fucking loser, but here I am, putting my best foot forward, trying to just, like, do things as a single woman and not, like, go home and, like, cry myself to sleep. So we all know the feeling, right? Basically, I'll let you know how the night goes and if it was worth it. I don't know if it's going to be worth it, but we're trying. We're trying.
Honestly, I don't trust 30-year-old single women when they rant about how good they are and not being able to get a man. If you were truly a good woman, you would have been wifed up by 25. Miss me with that BS. You didn't give men a chance when you were in your prime because you thought they weren't good enough. And even at 30, I'm pretty sure you get cold approached a few times. Just not by the kind of men you want. So whose fault is it? You don't want to settle. And Chad doesn't want to settle for you either. What's worse is that even the average Joe is starting to know his worth and doesn't want to settle for an older woman anymore.
Anybody asks me why I've been single my whole entire life, why I've never had a boyfriend, I honestly, like, don't know what else to say besides, like, no one likes me, or that, like, I'm just unlucky. Like, I can't even say, like, oh, you know, I like this guy, but he doesn't like me back, or, like, oh, I'm talking to this guy, but yeah, I don't know like, literally, there's nothing, and there's also literally nobody to even like me back. There's no talking stages, I've got no roster, like, nobody is in my life, like, I literally don't even have a crush, like, literally, there's nothing. At this point, I just, like, feel so unlucky, and, like, I don't know what else to tell people besides, like, that. There's nothing going on. And yeah, maybe the position I'm in is better than, like, being able to say, like, oh yeah, this guy doesn't like me back. But at least that's, like, something. I don't know. At least you, like, know you're, like, capable of liking somebody. Like, I haven't met anybody that, like, has been crush-worthy. Truly. Besides, like, my celebrity crushes and, like, Kai Azar, I, like, can't even give updates of, like, any dates or anything because, like, literally no dates have been happening for me. I haven't even started going through the stages of, like, oh, this guy doesn't like me back, or, like, God forbid, a situationship, which I hope I never have to go through one, but I, like, don't expect to, like, meet one guy and then be like, that's my person, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I feel like it's a very loaded question when somebody asks why I've never had a boyfriend. I haven't even held hands romantically with a man, so yeah. I think I'm just gonna start saying I'm unlucky. Or maybe it's just not meant for me. I don't know. I don't know anymore.
A lot of women are starting to feel this way. Not being approached. We've been yelled at countless times not to approach women. We've been pepper sprayed just because they didn't like our faces. Men have heard, men have listened. The juice isn't worth the squeeze anyway.
One of the hardest parts about never having a boyfriend to me is whenever I'm dating, I am definitely waiting on the other shoe to drop. I am waiting on the rejection. Listen, I know everyone deals with rejection. There is not a single person on the face of this earth who has not been rejected at some point or another. But I think what people don't get about when you haven't had a boyfriend is it's just all rejection in the dating area. Yes, some people do get into relationships and maybe, you know, their partner cheats or their partner decides to break up with them, and that is a form of rejection. But what I try to explain to people is it's like, well, at least someone chose you. Someone still liked you enough to pick you, to choose you, to commit to, whether they ended up being faithful, not, whatever. When you have never even been selected when you're trying to date, it's like not a good time. It's not fun. So now it's like whenever I date and I start to, like, sense something off, I feel something's off. And I think it's even worse that I'm, like, a Pisces. I'm just very intuitive on people's emotions in general. It always just gives me so much anxiety. What I will say though is I always survive it. I always make it through. I'm really just working to, like, have faith that there is a bigger, better, greater plan than anything I'm being rejected from. Honestly, this is exactly why I'm probably getting rejected. So
What if you're just a bad person and you need to actually work on yourself? You women need to sit down and ask yourselves, what exactly am I doing wrong in this dating game? Do I nag too much? Am I a boring person? Are my standards too high? What exactly do I even bring to the table? You need to tick all the boxes on your end before assuming men hate you. Start taking accountability for yourself.
This is just a friendly reminder that no amount of self-love will ever be able to replace romantic or platonic love, and that is literally okay. There's a lot of rhetoric floating around social media perpetuating this idea that you can love yourself into isolation, but the love that you give to yourself is very different from the love that you receive from companionship, whether that is in a platonic or romantic context. And it's radical individualism kind of repackaged under the guise of self-love. You don't find yourself in a void. You find yourself in relativity to your external and your experiences with people. So I think we can deconstruct the shame around desiring companionship, because loving yourself while simultaneously desiring that are not mutually exclusive. They can very much coexist.
No, 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 you guys are single, strong, and independent. You don't need men. Let it stay that way.
Okay, as we know, I'm 25, single, never had a boyfriend. I'm over saying that, if I'm being honest. But I'm not gonna lie, you guys. I have a philosophy that might keep me single for the rest of my life. And I'm willing to be, okay, should I take this off? I'm willing to be the test subject here and test this theory, because I really believe it full-heartedly. But if I end up single forever, it's gonna be really sad, but I really believe it. But my theory is that you do not have to look for a relationship by any means. Like, when it's meant to be, that person will come into your life no matter how, they just will. Like, you don't have to go out every weekend looking for it. You don't have to take any extra measures to find a relationship. I think when it's meant for you, it'll get brought to you. Now, I've always had this thought, but what really solidified it was I started asking people how their grandparents met, and all of the answers are so serendipitous. Somebody said their grandma was like driving a car, got pulled over, ended up marrying the cop. Like, things like that. And I truly believe that's how it happens, and you don't have to look for it. And I could already see the comments now. Start buying your cats now. And I'm really fully prepared for that to happen, but I'm also really hope I get proven right. Like, I think it just happens in the most crazy ways, and it'll just happen when it's meant to be, and you don't have to look for it. I believe that with my whole heart. Obviously, you have to put effort into it when it does come your way. Like, duh. But I think, like, the initial finding of it, you don't have to look.
All of this just translates to my expectations are way too high, and I don't want to settle. You want way too much, and you're probably giving back way too little. That's why you're single. You have very high standards that you believe no man can match, so you've given up on dating at 25. Lower your standards and stop looking for perfection. That's all for today. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Also, click on the notification bell to know when I drop a new video. Bye.